We are back in Rolleston. We stayed at Arundel last night. We got there in the dark and we left in the dark, so I couldn't do a video to show you where we stayed. We had a great day in Dunedin. Well, you know, half day, because we just did that city strider thing, which was really good. But we did have to we had to be in Ashburton early this morning because I've organised to get an electrical warrant of fitness for this vehicle, which we did, which was great. So the next job now is certification, because certification actually gives you a lot more places to free camp, especially in cities. You have to be certified self-contained to stay at some of the overnight spots, otherwise you're way out in the bush, which has been okay so far. But North Island's going to be a lot more cities, and there's going to be a lot more opportunities if we're certified self-contained. So I have that booked in for Monday morning. It is Thursday today, so I've left Ruby with Callum in the shed. They're working on building a barbecue or something, welding and cutting and grinding and cleaning and whatever, and I have popped down the shops to get a few things. The first one is we have to replace something we broke. This thing here, it sits on the dash. See, we broke it, it's all smashed. It sits on the dash and it trickles into the battery to make sure the battery's always got charged, because one of the things about New Zealand is the cold, as you've probably heard me whinging about. It also affects the batteries, and they go flat a lot. And because this is a camper and sits a bit in between travels, the solar panel on the dash is a really good thing. But when you're traveling along and it's cold, the windscreen keeps fogging. So Ruby had it sitting on her lap for a couple of days because it was covering the vents that came out, where the air came out to stop the windscreen from fogging. And we finally got it sussed, heat on our feet and air conditioner on the windscreen pretty much all the time, because initially it was air conditioner and we were freezing. So we got that sussed. She was holding it in her lap, and then I told her, it's going to be, you know, cloudy, we're not going to need it, the car's running, just put it behind your seat, which she did, but she didn't secure it, so whatever, you know, things happen. We undid the sliding door, came in and out a couple of times, and then one time I went to like shut it, because you need to force it, and it didn't shut, and it made a horrible noise, and that was the solar panel had fallen out and smashed in the door. So first job is to replace that, and a couple of other bits and pieces will let you know as I go along today, and hopefully I can find my way around, not on the bus and not being driven around. This is the first time I've really been driving around Christchurch for 3.5, 4 months, so this is kind of exciting to get in the traffic. One thing I love about New Zealand is the price of fuel. Check it out, we're paying 94.9 cents per litre for our diesel, $1.65 for fuel, and you can pay at the actual spot, which is really cool. You don't have to go into the shop all the time, and they had these stops all over the place that are just unmanned. It's great. Monday 29th of May, and for this weekend we were upgraded to the grassed area. We had a powered grassed area, so the power's there, and I've had the car plugged into the power because I got a thing. Where is he? Let's have a look in here. So that, when you plug into power, you have that, so you can have kettle, toaster and all of that, but it wasn't going into the battery, so we weren't charging the battery, and the battery hasn't been on full charge. So I bought this thing. It's a charger which will charge up that second battery, which is what powers our fridge, and we've had a little bit of trouble keeping the fridge going on 12 volt because the battery hasn't been fully charged. So this has been plugged in and charging all weekend, and now our second battery, which sits in there, is fully charged, and I've got the fridge going, and we're just packing and cleaning and washing, and we're heading off today. And the other thing I got was our new solar panel, Bizzo, which I've got there. It's got suction cups, but it's not sticking on, so I might have to maybe clean the dash a little bit further, but we've got that organised. And the other exciting thing I'm really pleased about is this morning we got our sticker. We got our self-contained sticker. We now have to wait for paperwork, and we also have a little badgy thing that sits in here. This is all our, so in there will go our self-certification along with the rego papers. So we just got to wait for those to come along. But we're certified self-contained, and we have the electrical warrant of fitness up there. So we're all good to go. And we've got a lot more options when it comes to staying in some of these towns, especially Wellington. We're going to have a lot more options, and there's a lot of things in Wellington, which means we need to stay in the city. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited about heading north. Hanmer Springs will be our stop tonight in our first certified self-contained spot.